What is up, guys? Welcome to today's stream. All right. So I'm just taking some time to get set up here, and we'll get things rolling soon enough. All right. So I'm gonna go off webcam. Just a sec. There you go. So we're just gonna today we're gonna be discussing my time that I spent working for the Godzilla store. Um, this is gonna be a bit of an ask me anything type of stream. Where if you have any questions about um, my time working for the Godzilla store, you can feel free to ask it in the chat below, or you can comment on my Twitter, any of my Twitter's feeds where I have the post there. You can drop it below, and basically it's just gonna be me chatting about my time there, some stuff about how it worked, just general stuff. Um, Obviously, nothing too deep about the um, specifics itself or any private information. I'll be keeping that, private. But anything just about stories working there, some of the people I met, the people who came by, because there's like lots of stuff that happened during my time there, and it was just a pretty overall fun time. So hopefully we're going to be able to have a good time talking about it. Uh, Hopefully this stream will go on for a good while. I may hop off here and then join another stream happening later tonight. So I'll just keep time in mind for now. But for anyone stopping by, hopefully this will be a good starting point, and then we'll just see how things go for now. So let me just do some announcements real quick. All right, guys. So I guess everything sort of started uh, 2 months ago, maybe little over half a month before Godzilla Day happened on November 2nd. Um, Shortly beforehand, I had gone on a trip out of state, and that one's really fun. Went out to New Mexico to visit a friend. Um, Lots of cool stuff in New Mexico. Um, and it's just a place that has a little bit of everything. Um, Pretty mellow if you're outside of the city, but beautiful sights nonetheless. And basically, it was a fun time visiting a friend. Um, and around that time is when I had seen the application for uh, the Godzilla Store pop up. That's what was happening um, around that time. It was done through the company called Anime Jungle, um, or like Entertainment Hobby Jungle, something like that. But basically, it's a hobby store that focuses on multiple hobbies, including Gunpla, Godzilla, any kind of anime, trading card games, stuff like that. And if you're local to the LA area, in downtown LA near Little Tokyo, they have a line of shops there. And each of the shops is dedicated to a certain like brand or aesthetic, where basically, one store focuses on things like Gundam, Gunpla, uh, tokusatsu figures, Godzilla, obviously. Another store has like more anime stuff, figures, manga, stuff like that. And basically, uh, you also have a store where they do pop-up shops where they rent out to different companies and stuff where they'll do like special events for pop-up shops like cafes, um, different stores, um, and basically for the Godzilla Day 70th anniversary, they were doing a Godzilla themed pop-up shop for the official Godzilla store, and that was basically where I was going to be working for a while. And then let me see here. Let me see if I can show you some pictures. Basically, we'll just see if I can choose a layout. Here we go. There you go. So here's me. This was a little bit before um, I started working there. They basically made a whole display outside the windows of these different shops, and essentially, it was all decorated. Here is the full image here. This is what the outside looked like with a little bit of the marketing there. You can obviously see the big 70th anniversary logo that they did. They do logos like that for, I guess, most of the anniversary uh, events. The biggest one that comes to mind is the Shin Godzilla 65th anniversary, I believe, where they had a logo like that with Shin Godzilla, since that's what that was probably the biggest Godzilla thing around at the time. And this time, since it's the big 7-0, they put Godzilla 54 there, that iconic silhouette for the logo. And we had a few items like that where we had that branding on it. Um, and there was more stuff around there, but here's a hopefully I'll put some more pictures up here. That way I can show you a bit of the stuff that I got um, while working there. It was basically a whole menagerie of Godzilla items. And it was just a lot to take in because there was just so much Godzilla stuff there that it was at first it was hard to imagine how many people would really show up, since I'm pretty sure for anyone living in any area, you never really get a sense of how much of the fandom is near you. The closest you'd ever get are like a convention, any local festivals, stuff like that. That is where you're gonna expect most of um, the people who are in your niche, where you'll expect to meet them. And even then, at times, it may be a situation where people fly out um, to come there if it's that popular, or the people in that niche are that dedicated. And with something like this, given that it was local to the LA area, I figured like there would be a good amount of people, but when you're there, you just don't realize, or you start to realize just how big Godzilla is. Because I would say a good majority of the people there were hardcore Godzilla fans who were into the franchise, and it was obviously a big part of their lives. Another half of the majority was probably just people of the general public who knew about Godzilla, or their kids were into Godzilla and they brought them there, either on a whim or they had just passed by. Um, so it was a really good turnout, to my surprise in a way, um, because I've been to events like this and I've seen the turnout there, and it's pretty overwhelming at times, because you just don't realize like how many people that are into the same things you are close to your vicinity, to where if you really dedicate yourself to it, you can find I guess your people around you, if you take the time to really outsource your resources and like just get a community going, because there's just so many people there who appreciated Godzilla enough to come to this um event and pop-up shop that it warmed my heart in a way, and it showed that the fandom was really alive. And when it came to that, I guess you could just say, you know, that it was a good way to spend my time there and really, be proud of the fact that I decided to go through with something like this. And essentially, it, it was just an overall fun time. What more can I say? Um, I met lots of cool people there. Surprisingly enough, some pretty well-known people in the kaiju community bubble, you could say. Um, and it was unexpected and a pleasant surprise all around, because to be able to see people like that and meet them and like get to interact with them, it was just a huge honor and pleasure. Um, so hopefully I'll get to talk about it. If any of you guys have any questions, again, feel free to check my Twitter, any of my Twitters really, where I made a post about it, and you can drop a question there. So I'm probably gonna type out an announcement right now. So give me a second there. Um, take your time to admire this cool poster backdrop here that we had at the shop out front, or to the side of it, because it was a really cool display to see whenever you walked by the Little Tokyo Mall where this took place. All right. And then again, this was to celebrate the 70th anniversary of Godzilla. Turned 70 on November 2nd. Which I guess, something that even came up while working here was that, in Japan, it was November 3rd, when it was November 2nd for us. So they were a time, like a day ahead. So essentially, when it came to, you know, just celebrating the day, we always like, um, celebrated a day, I guess, like that whole, time zone things. Similar to how, like, whenever we celebrate New Year's, we're always like a time zone away from people who are already celebrating it. But nonetheless, it was just really fun to get to be a part of that in an official capacity, because Anime Jungle, the company, um, that I technically worked for them, um, but also in a way, I technically worked for the Godzilla store and Toho. I guess a few degrees behind, but nonetheless, I was still a part of it in official capacity, and that felt really good. Um, to be able to say that, um, and again, like I just saw I think shortly around the time when they announced that they were doing the Godzilla pop-up shop, they put out like a hiring call on their Instagram and basically just sent over my application. And basically, shortly before I went on that trip that I mentioned to New Mexico, I um I did an interview call, and that was a really interesting experience as well, because in the application, they would ask you like the typical questions and stuff. And when we went to the interview, we just talked about like how we were involved with the Godzilla community, what our favorite movies and kaijus were. Um, and it was actually a group interview with a few of other of my coworkers that ended up working alongside me there. That's where I first met them, and basically we just you know answer the same amount of questions, got into details about what would happen if we were hired, um, and stuff. And some of the first few days would be setting up the events and the displays and stuff, all the figures. Um, and here, I guess I'll show you guys some of what was inside. So when you walked in, one of the first things you would see is this here. This was a display of standees that was going around. Um, and basically, uh, this is something where you would get to do a photo op, if you went in and, made a purchase, you would get to go in and do close-ups with, Godzilla there. And, we had quite a selection, I'd say. You've got like, Showa, Gigan and Megalon and Godzilla there. We have Final Wars Hedorah, Godzilla and Monster X, and then GMK Mothra up there, if you can see her. Um, Funny enough, when we closed up shop, I had to cut her down, um, and just put her away, stuff like that. But yeah, this was one of the first things we got to see when you got in. People loved them. Took pictures of them and with them. It was really fun. I even got to help out to take pictures for a few people, and helping out people was always the nicest thing because there were people there who, knew their stuff. They knew about some things. Uh, some more than others, obviously, because depending on how in the know you are with certain things, you won't know everything. You might know lots of things, but like not certain things. But it was fun to talk to people because like there were things we knew about that we could talk about, or someone would be asking a question or not know something, and I'd give them a few details that I knew since I'm a bit more in the know, of stuff like the fandom and the lore of the franchise, I guess. Not to toot my own horn or anything, but like, it was just fun talking to people and, feeding them information that they didn't know, about the franchise. And I guess you could say one of my favorite things was seeing all the kids there who loved Godzilla, and one of their favorite things were all the toys we had. Um, and then let me show you guys here. This is something else you can see. We basically had a large selection of figures, um, and a little bit of a mix of everything as well, where we had, X plus SH Monster Arts, Haya toys. We had a good few of them there that I want to say are pretty hard to get now. Either they sold out quickly um, or I don't know, something like that. We had Super 7, we had Movie Monster Series, Bandai, all those like, Maru-san was a fun one. We had, you can see them on the top corner there. We had basically these big Sofubi Maru-san figures on display there, and you can see the Movie Monster Series down there. The kids love those. They would pick them up, which you could do. Um, some would. I don't think anyone really played with them, but they would hold them, show their parents that they wanted this one, and basically, it was just fun to see all the kids, you know, talking about Godzilla because it warmed my heart because it shows that the next generation is still alive with this franchise, and it's not something that's gonna die anytime soon. Like Godzilla isn't going anywhere. The whole franchise isn't going anywhere. Um, it was fun to teach the kids. They would ask what name this monster was, and we would tell them, "Oh, this is from this movie. This is from that timeline." If the kids even knew what we were talking about, but they just loved the look of the monster. Um, and basically, it was just a fun time to really get to know people in the fandom, uh, and just it was an overall, um, mind-opening experience, I'd say, because it was just, overall a good time. Um, the first day was really hectic, and it wasn't even Godzilla Day when we started. Or was it? I guess it just depends because we started November 2nd. It was a Saturday, the first weekend. that day was packed to the brim with people. It was like obviously our biggest day. Um, I don't even know if the second day was as hectic because by then we got our act together. Um, and we had an idea of how things were gonna work. Because the first day things started out pretty crazy. We had a long line already. Um, People started coming in. We had a max capacity of like 20 people. Pretty sure we went over it more than a few times throughout the first day. Even throughout any day. Um, but people started coming in. Saying hi to everybody, greeting, and by then, I work retail normally. Um, I work at a hobby shop in the mall. Uh, and so I'm accustomed to the whole customer service deal. Um, so I just know what to do. There's a process to it. I have that higher voice, customer service voice that I go with. And so it was pretty easy to get the hang of things, check in on people. There were lots of people who were like just scoping around and just coming to terms with like all the stuff we had available because everything we had here was like officially um, from the Godzilla store. So most of it was likely stuff you can get through them, um, and or any other adjacent merchandise like all the other figures. And so you also had people who came in knowing what they wanted. They would either go to wherever they saw we had the thing, or they would ask us if we had certain things. Um, and like we were all pretty knowledgeable of all the brands and figures that we had, so we could lead them to whatever they needed pretty quickly. And um, it was pretty confusing with the amount of stuff we had. Uh, and there are also people who like didn't know what the difference was with certain things. You can see in the top left corner up there, we had a few of the Ghidorah figures for both Haya and SH Monster Arts. Um, I think the two Haya ones we had there, people were confused about like what exactly the difference were. Um, and obviously we knew that like one was like extra gold with the beams, one was like standard color to the movie. And so, one box was also a little bit bigger. So it gave you a sense of what was in it. Um, that was a pretty popular one. I remember helping out some people who were really into it. Uh, I think one kid was asking for it. I don't know if it was going to be like an early or late Christmas present for him, but he wanted the Golden Ghidorah. And so, we helped him getting down. I think the parents had a hard time like grasping what exactly the differences were. I'm pretty sure they were Godzilla fans as well, um, but probably not to the sense that they'll know all the differences of every figure. And essentially, it was just down to, um, you know, uh, basically like this one's gold, different color scheme, etc. Comes with accessories, so that um varies the price a little. But yeah, they ended up getting it. So that was fun looking for it. And then the way everything worked in the store as well was all of those were like displays. Um, so unless it was like the exact last one, we wouldn't sell it. We had stock in the back. We would go in the back, and the first day this was a bit of a rush because there were so many people there that basically it was just like really hectic to go back and forth. And I'm used to doing stuff like that. I think only myself and one other person had some retail experience there. So we took the lead a lot of the times on handling certain things like that. But everyone got their act together. Or I guess in a sense, we really felt like a groove going on. And so whenever someone asked for something, we would have to go back and forth to grab the thing, double check to make sure it's the right item, and just put it on hold for them. And the first day, the way it works is that most of the jungle store there works like that, where um, basically they'll just get new stock of the item you want, and it'll just be, "This is what you want? Yeah, we'll hold it for you." On that first day, we didn't have a system to where we would have the space to hold that stuff. So essentially, um, it was a matter of uh, finding the space for it. And because we had so many people and we went over our max capacity, it was really hard to figure out where we were going to put all the stuff they were holding. And it got to the point where all of our counter space was taken up by people's stuff. So, um, that was something that we got down on the second day where we had space for putting people's stuff. Um, and of course, there were like a few popular items like the movie Monster series, a few of the Haya figures, and the SH figure arts stuff was really popular. Mhm. And then I'm just gonna do another announcement here, and gonna be getting some water because, oof, very lots of stuff to talk about today. So, let's give you 1 second. And then so first day, super hectic. Second day we got our shit down and we basically got a groove in. Um and then around that time where it was the official Godzilla Day, so November 3rd it would have been. By then it had already passed in Japan, but we were celebrating it then. And I think it was a pretty big turnout as well. Probably not as crazy as the second day, first day I mean, because we had, our shit down, we had a system, and we learned from that experience, So we got the handle of things. I was mostly on the floor helping people out, grabbing the stuff they wanted, and it was really interesting to see the amount of stuff we had. What was the most popular with it? So you had your people who were looking for your movie monster series, people who were looking for your Haya toys, which are one of the very popular items. A lot of the X pluses were really popular. We saw a good few of those. Um, we had some different versions. Like we had, Godzilla -1, the movie version, and we had the ride version. We had to make sure people knew what the differences were with those figures. And so everything was kind of like that, kind of like with the Ghidorah stuff with the High toys. So it was essentially just making sure people were satisfied with what they were getting, and we knew what we had to provide for them. All right, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. In the meantime, let's see. We have another look at this display. This is really cool because we had lots of different wallpapers on. You probably saw it in some of the other stuff, but we had these cool display wallpapers, which we had going on. Let's see here. Yeah, so it's that classic Godzilla silhouette. You can see we had these, I believe they're called like middle series vinyl wars or just vinyl figures, um, with a bunch of like color sets of different Sofubi Godzilla figures, which are really fun and cool. Um, I have a story about that I'll talk to you guys about in a minute, but I'll be right back. In the meantime, enjoy this image here. All right, and I am back. So, like I was saying before, we had lots of cool wallpaper displays. For the standees, we had like a Final Wars background. Um, So like the scene where like I think the meteorite or Monster X lands on the planet. You can see Monster X off to the side there. So we had that standee there. And all around us we had basically these cool displays where we had all the figures on, and then um I'll add more pictures here in a moment. But we had basically lots of cool displays going on. I'll show you one right now where it was basically the Godzilla versus Megalon crew. I guess you can see most of them there. Sucks we didn't have a Jet Jaguar standee. Um, Everyone was asking like, "Oh, where's Jet Jaguar?" I'm like, "Oh, he's over here." There you go. So we had lots of cool wallpaper displays like that. And you can see some of the counter there where basically you just had the the Godzilla crew. And funny enough, one thing that kept popping up to my mind because on Twitter, you'd see people talking like, "Oh, Godzilla looks bald without his, his spines," and here we have this official promo art where Godzilla doesn't have his spines. And yeah, I guess looking at that, it's pretty funny, thinking like, "Oh, this bald character," um, and it's just funny to think about like you always see any good silhouette will always show the features of a character. And thinking about Godzilla, and not that it's like bad to like have him without the spines, but um if you're doing like a silhouette, like you always want to have his spine showing. Um so whenever you have him without the spines, it just looks a little off. Like I'll have to admit that, but I don't think it's bad whenever it does show spines or you have a shot that doesn't. Because not every shot is always gonna be like from the side. You'll have some front facing shots. And I think there's ways you can design a monster like that where he'll look good from every angle. But you know, Godzilla is one of those things where it is very visually distinct to what he looks like. Let's see here. 5, 6 o'clock. And then let's see if anyone's in the Zimzilla Discord Imperium. Then I'll send an invite to see if I can get some people on before uh the stream I'll probably be joining later tonight. If you don't know Zimzilla, he is a good friend of mine. I join his streams quite regularly now. Um where we talk about like Godzilla kaiju stuff. So in the event that uh just in the event that any like major news happens, we'll probably do a stream there. I always try my best to join in, but yeah, I'll send an invite through there if you're on there on Discord. I'll probably keep the floor open there just for now, but uh, you know, if anyone wants to come and chat about Godzilla stuff, basically. All right, looks like we have a commenter here. Hopefully, you're still in the chat. I'm just looking at it now. Did I make any money at this job? Uh, Funny enough, I yeah, we got paid. Because it was an actual job that they hired me for. Basically as a sales associate. And so yeah, I did get paid. All the standard amounts and stuff. Um, but yeah, some of it did end up going back into their pockets because, as you can see from these pictures, there were lots of cool shit there. Um, Lots of cool shit to buy. I mean, just look at all these figures, man. Uh, so yeah, some of that money went right back into their pockets. But hey, and actually, one thing that's really cool is that um, there were freebies you could get if you spent a certain amount, you would get some freebies, um, which were really cool. I'll probably show off a few of them right now since I do have some. Um, Actually, one I can tell you about right now, probably if I can find it. Yeah, if you see on the bottom underneath all the shelves there, you'll see some posters. We did not have those posters for sale, which is unfortunate because I think they're pretty cool, but they are some of the movie posters, where if you spent a certain amount, you would get them for free. Um, I'll probably just go through a list right now. Let's see if I can toggle my way back here. And then, sorry, I can't. There you go. What's up, guys? Um, Essentially, like I said, there were some freebies that you could get for a certain amount if you spent it. If you spent $50 at the shop, you would earn a free Godzilla tote bag. Here's a tote bag right here that this one specifically was a gift. So here's the Godzilla 70th anniversary exclusive tote bag. Here's one side. You can see it there. And then on the other side, it was this. Got the Capitol building there. There you go. And then you can see there the see if I can angle this right. Where's the camera? There you go. Entertainment Hobby Shop Jungle. I don't know if you could pick it up on the camera, but there's all the locations there. Where they have stores. I think they have some in Japan and all throughout the country. We have one in LA. So that's where we did it. Okay, so we have a question here from Tig. You mostly collect figures? Yeah, I'd say so. I collect a lot of other things. Uh, like up to the back of me here. Um, I have a Gamma figure in box from Trendmasters. It's a pretty rare figure. Got a good deal on it too. Only $100. But that's Gamma. We're talking about Godzilla. Uh, but yeah, this is like the tote bag you got. And then the event was actually really a fun name. It's called Godzilla Invades Little Tokyo, and it was like a collaboration with I forget the name. They told me it was like whoever manages like the district of Little Tokyo um collaborated with the Anime Jungle Shop to do the pop up, and also with the Metro system, which I'm pretty sure some people on Twitter saw. But basically, in LA, we have the Metro system with the for the subways and the trains and stuff. And we collaborated with them to do a few things. Um, some of it was more on their side, but we had a thing for us that we had at the shop as well. But for them on the intercom announcements, every now and again you could hear the Godzilla roar played on the intercom, which was really fun. I didn't hear it myself. Uh, Actually, I think some of us did. I think it was loud enough to where we could hear it from where we were. But yeah, people would always come in saying, "Oh, I rode the metro here, and I heard Godzilla." Another thing was they had a Godzilla train set up, where it was like a train with like the Godzilla. I think it was the same image as this or something, where they had the Godzilla 70, and on the train was like decals or something of Godzilla. And I want to see it. Hopefully, I might still see it if I take the metro. Since now, so with the purchase of 50, you get this bag as a freebie. And with the purchase of 100, you get the bag as well as a Metro tap card. And here is the exclusive design for the Godzilla event. Funny enough, I thought it was like the whole Tokyo SOS crew, but actually that is 2000 Godzilla or Meyer Goji. I thought it was the 2000 Goji, but or I thought it was Tokyo SOS Goji, like I said, because that right there is Tokyo S Mothra and Kiryu. So that was really cool. This was one of our most popular items. People would like spend enough money to just get this. Um, so yeah, it was cool, and it was actually sucked for a little bit because um basically it was delayed for a little bit. Um, we would tell people, "Oh, it's delayed," but you can still spend now and earn. and earn the card later once we got them. We like it would be like around the 11th. We told people that's what Metro told us. But they came a little early, and so we started giving them out then. I believe we still had a good few even after it, but they were very limited pieces. Like I think only I want to say 600 or so were made. Um, and yeah, it was fun. People loved the tap cards. Um, People were coming, always asking about the tap cards if we still had them. We still had a good few, like I said. I think even around the time it closed, but people were coming back for it, showing us, their receipts and stuff just for proof of purchase. We were pretty chill with that. So I got to hand out a few of them too. It wasn't until like the next few days when I started where they were putting me on main reg. I was experienced with register stuff already. So I got the hang of it pretty quick. And um, basically, um, yeah, it was just really fun seeing that. And then you can see here, like I said, those posters were also come with a purchase of 100. And let's see if I can do this here. Boom. No. Oh, now that works. Basically, you can see the posters there. The ones that we were mainly giving out were the uh Shin Godzilla, Mothra versus Godzilla, and Godzilla versus Destroyer. We ended up getting a few of the 54 posters only because they were only available at first for the Godzilla screening event, which, as well as the Metro events, our store on the 2nd of November, there was also the screening event, double features, which was for um Godzilla minus one and Godzilla 54 back to back. There was also a Q&A panel with I'm forgetting his name, but it was the director of the Wolfman versus Godzilla unofficial movie. He was there. I think he did like a Q&A panel, and they were giving out those 54 posters. They ended up having a few extras, so we just gave them away along with all the other posters. Um, and as well as you might not be able to see it on stream here because it's too far away, but we would give certain posters out on certain days. The first one we gave out was the Mothra poster. After that, I believe it was the God, God, Godzilla versus Destroyer, and then finally Shin Godzilla was the last one we were gonna give out. But by the end, we ended up having all four posters available. Though I think the Destroyer poster sold out, and or we gave them all out essentially. But we still had a good few of those posters. And essentially, yeah, they were just freebie gifts you got with, um, buying something. So yeah, you can see them on display there. And again, like I showed you, you can get like the posters, the bag, tap card, which are all really cool. Um, and yeah, some of the bosses there were asking me, "Oh, do you think that this will be popular?" I'm like, Hell yeah!" Like people will want like something like the Metro tap card just because of how cool that looks, and I think more often than not, this is probably going to be a collector's item. I mean, like I said, there's only limited amount of pieces made. Whenever something like that happens with a popular brand, it's bound to become a collector's item. I myself am gonna probably keep it mine as safe as possible. Um, because it might be worth something, down the line. For anyone who's gonna use it. I don't know how durable tap cards are. I've only used a few of them. I don't take the train as often. I want to start now just because I have an extra one. Wink, wink. But um, basically, um, it's gonna be a collector's item. I'm sure of it. With how many are gonna last, how many people are gonna keep them safe and like as a collector's item. Uh, yeah. And so, now that we got those freebies out of the way, essentially one other thing was that, yeah, so I was like on main reg. I would be giving out the freebies whenever they earned it. Um, and like I said, we got to meet a good few amount of people. Uh, and basically, Yeah, I got to meet a few people, cool people. One of the cool people I met was a very popular cosplayer in the community, I believe. His name is Kaiju Chris, and he is one of the well-known people who have built Godzilla suits uh, as like an actual suit, which is really cool. I'm just gonna go see here if I can post a picture of some stuff he posted. Cause he came by our shop actually, and he came by in his suit. And it was actually funny. He was telling me, um, he was basically telling me how, as expected, being a Godzilla suit actor or suit cosplayer is no easy task. And Metro, 'cause I think it was more an event with Metro that he said he was doing. Uh, but yeah, they wanted him to walk from the station to our shop. And that was gonna be like what, a 10-minute walk, but famously people could only last a few minutes in that thing. Actually, I don't even know because like there's a few stations close by. Um, but I mean, unless you're like a trained actor for that thing, I don't think you can last that long. He himself said that he couldn't do it, so they did that at the station, and then he got out of the suit. They moved to some back alley in near the plaza, and then from there he walked to our shop. I think you can see some highlights from it on like the stories. I think some of his stories too. Where basically you can see all the people there um and stuff. So let's see, should I put it up on? Well, I don't think I have Instagram logged in, but I'll send myself some pictures. But yeah, I'll just screenshot some stuff on my phone and show it to you guys. But yeah, it was really cool. I got to meet him actually beforehand, because he did an event at one of the science museums around LA here. Um, that was actually a pretty fun event too that I went to. My high school English teacher sent me like a link to the event, and so I got to go. And Kaiju Chris was there. He was in the suit, walking around the museum sets. There's a few guys with like Godzilla toys talking about the scientific accuracies, I guess, of Godzilla. And he was there with the suit. I think I got to talk to him a little bit out of the suit. I think he even had like a wetsuit on or something. There, and then I met him out of the suit because he came by to buy stuff, of course. And so I got to talk to him a little bit, show him around. Um, it was a blast having him there because it's a Godzilla suit that he made. So we got to talk to him for a little bit. He got some stuff, and he came by a few times actually. Also wanted that tap card, but yeah, he was one of the first people of note. I would say that like or at least someone that people in the community would know who were like like deep into the kaiju sphere, I guess you can say. And when it came to that, uh, essentially, I guess you always have to be professional whenever like a celebrity stops by an establishment. Um, so whenever something like that would happen, I was like, "Oh, hi, I know you from so and so. It's cool to have you here. Let me know if I can help you out with anything." Um, I've worked jobs like that where basically um someone famous would be around and we just had to act professional. um not only because like obviously I like the inner fan in me like want to be like, oh, let me get a picture, oh, let me I can like just talk to them, but stay professional. It's always good in the long run. It'll help you out because um if you're in that position too, you like wanna like if you're a well-known figure, um, it might be like tough to not want to interact with them as well with the fan. Um, because like you want to give them the opportunity. You also want to be that guy who's like cool with his fans and stuff, but obvious boundaries and professionalisms on both sides. But it was fun to see him. We talked for a little bit, showed him around, like I said. Um, and then the next person who actually stopped by was Mike's Monsters. If you know him, he is a also a well-known figure in the kaiju sphere. He does toy photography. I guess you could say some side journalism or something, because one of the recent things he did was stuff for Alien Romulus, where he helped with that for like the fandom side and stuff for like some fan input. Um, but he stopped by. I got to see him, talk to him, same as before. Um, I remember I even told him that I had seen him at a convention previously, but I was too nervous to go up and talk to him because whenever think I see someone like that, I'm like, is that really him? Like, I don't want to make a scene or something. But yeah, it was him. And I told him about it, and he's like, "Oh, don't be shy to say hi or anything." So I said hi and stuff. Showed him around. The same professional customer service deal. Um, and then he ended up tweeting at me, saying it was a pleasure, and likewise, pleasure all around because it was fun. Because meeting people like that is always a fun moment, no matter what. And it's just you know cool. What other word is there for it? Because you're getting to work a kaiju event, and then people within the kaiju community who are well-known figures come by, and you get to interact with them. So it's just a very mm, overwhelming experience, to say the least. But the next person I saw there, I don't know if they're too well known in the kaiju community, but they're very big YouTubers. One of them was there. It was Sam from Corridor Crew, one of the founders of that YouTube channel and company and stuff, where they do visual effects, visual effects artists react and stuff. And I even mentioned to him before, I met Nico at a Baby Metal concert, with Death Clock and stuff. I had met him there, got a picture with him, because that was like a more fan interaction with Nico, because I wasn't working the event or anything. I was just attending it. So I was like, "Oh, I'm a big fan. Can I get a picture?" Here was different because acting professional, and we weren't allowed to have our phones out on the floor anyway. So it's not like it would happen. But I shook his hand, said I was a fan. Same thing. Have a good look around. Let me know if you need help. Stuff like that. Um, Part of me wanted to recommend more Godzilla stuff to look at because they've looked at Godzilla stuff. Um, they've reacted to Shin Godzilla -1, even Godzilla '98, Godzilla 2000. They've reacted to all the visual effects stuff for that. Um, so essentially, it was just going to be about meeting cool people like that. I would say that's most of the big people I saw. Um, Outside of maybe a few, um, eh, well, people that I knew or knew of that came by the shop. Um, because there's one guy on the first day, like a few days before, I was working my other job, and this guy came by. He was a Godzilla fan. He had pins, I think a shirt too. That he was wearing, and I talked to him. And I mentioned, "Oh, are you going to the Godzilla pop-up shop?" He was like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm going day one." And I was working day one, so like, "Oh, maybe I'll see you there because I'm actually working that too." Lo and behold, I see him day one. We chatted up, and I help him out with some Godzilla stuff. So stuff like that was fun to do because when you're in the customer service world, um, I actually think it goes both ways because whether you're a customer who's like a regular to an establishment and also an employee, you sort of get this like relationship going on where it's almost a friendship, to where you'll know someone and there's just connection there where you'll just be each other's, out I don't know what you call it. Like customer employee dynamic, I guess you could say. Um like whenever you have a regular person who comes by, like you're sort of like this weird I don't want to call it parasocial. Um because it's not like we hang out. Um like unless something I don't know, I guess it could happen. I don't think I've done it as of yet. Um like unless that because the regular becomes an employee and then that relation goes further because that's happened to me a lot of times. Um, but yeah, I mean it's fun. Like they become people you know, um, and you help them out a lot when it comes to the stuff because most likely you're into the same things. Um, so you have those common interests, I guess you can say. Um, and yeah, it was fun. Like I said before, seeing all the children there with their families. Um, I'm pretty sure a lot of it was the parents of Godzilla fans, who would come in. Uh, and then there's lots of cosplayers there. Um, Mostly for the first few days, especially day 1 and 2. But throughout the event, we would see cosplayers, and the cutest things I saw were like these kids who had. There's this little girl with like a Godzilla onesie type thing. I think I had one when I was a kid, like a onesie with a little Godzilla head that comes like a hoodie and the tail that drags. But I think they like either custom made it or they customized it because like the fins had like little Christmas lights or something like that glue, um, or that glowed blue, and it was cute. And then there's a little boy who had this Anguirus costume with like I'm pretty sure that one was custom made definitely because it was like a hat that you would like with like a chin strap and it had like an Anguirus like the top of his head. And he had like a backpack, like a Ninja Turtle backpack that was like customized to be Anguirus' shell. And he also had a tail that dragged with the spikes and everything, and like a little onesie bodysuit type thing, had scales on it. Um, and that was really fun to see. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. Um, and so with that, uh, we got lots of people like that who had costumes. There's this one lady who had like a little fur scarf thing with the little mothra cape wings, and like a bodysuit and stuff, and that was cool. So we got lots of people like that, and that was really fun too, because it was like at that point it was like a little mini convention, um, and stuff. So yeah, always cool to see. Outside of Kaiju Chris, it was fun to see all those costumes come by. Um, it did break my heart though, because sometimes people are like, "Oh, is Kaiju Chris coming?" Um, I was like, "No, that was just the first day," and I think it kind of sucked that most of the events only happened on the first day. Um, like maybe if there was like select days where Kaiju Chris or some other creator, because there's other creators who made suits too. Um, like you see them all the time, like at G Fest, Monster Palooza, stuff like that for the costume contests, and they're pretty big names. That come out of those contests and stuff. There's this one girl, uh, I forget her name, but this one lady who has like the Godzilla Evolved cosplay with like I think a headpiece, um, like a body, like leotard thing that has like the Godzilla scales and then like a big tail with wheels on it that rolls. I'm sure people will know who I'm talking about. I've also met this one cosplayer who goes to a lot of conventions. His suit that is based on the 2002 or the Kiryu Godzilla suit, with the little head that's a little small for the body, I think, but it's still cool nonetheless. Really good suit though. I've met him before, taking pictures with him before too. Um, yeah, her outfit is really great. Um, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, there's lots of people like that. Like maybe they could have like, I don't know what, I don't know if like Kaiji Chris was hired for it or if they asked him to just do it like for volunteer work or something. I hope he got something out of it because doing all that work for the suit. Um, uh, I mean, yeah, pay the man. Uh, but yeah, like maybe if they could have done more stuff like that. Or maybe more screenings throughout the event. Because even then, like I think Minus One was re-released around that time. I think it was probably still going in a few other theaters. It was just that one theater that had the double feature and the Q&A panel, I think, with a Wolfman versus Godzilla director. And I didn't get to meet him personally, but apparently he came by the shop too. Some of my other coworkers got to meet him, talk with him, stuff like that. Because actually, a lot of the managers of that hobby shop, um, if you go into the store, you'll see like the little Japanese autograph cards. I forget the official name for them, but you'll see different people, like Shinichi Wakaza, Guillermo del Toro, and other people who have worked with the Tokusatsu franchises. They've stopped by there and stuff and signed stuff for them that they have on display. Uh, so yeah, a few names came up. And there was actually a Toho representative there who worked with like the marketing side of the company. He told me, and I was told. Um, I don't know if I should say his name there. But he was a cool guy. I got to talk to him. Um, he was stopped by for like the first few weeks. Well, it was only like a 2 week period, so like for a little over a week, he was there, and he would just stop by, see how everything was going. Um, it went pretty well. I would say it was definitely a success. Um, but yeah, it was fun. We had some people there who were, just outside of even just being big names in the committee, were people who actually worked on the Godzilla films or works with Toho. There were some people from Toho too that were like, I want to say on the American side of the company, and uh basically, they were just people who worked with like marketing or something. They came by. I want to see if I can find more pictures of it because they took pictures of us and of myself and my coworkers, like standing in front of the displays and stuff at the store. Um, I figured they were gonna be like on like a page or something or on an Instagram reel. I never found stuff like that. I actually found quite a few vlogs and stories where like, oh, the back of my head, popped up or something. Um, as well as like my other coworkers. But I never saw anything official wise, like on the Instagram, Twitter, or the website. I don't even think they did as much marketing. I think only on like the first day, we're like, oh, come to the Godzilla store, and then nothing much else. But the Instagram for the Jungle Shop, they did all the advertising, stuff like that. There's actually this one lady who I think is like they hired as like the marketing designer, I think it was. She came by um a few times. Um and I think she was in charge of like designing everything and stuff. Like the layout. Um and you'll find her like on the Instagram page there. Um marketing stuff that they sell. So she came by and um yeah, we talked for a little bit, and then um stuff like that where it was basically they had a few marketing stuff where they would give updates. So if you needed to know anything, because a few people who showed up knew about the event. Some people just came on a whim. Others were just passing by. Another funny thing is that a few of my coworkers from the job I have, right now, I had told them about me working there. I think only a few of them I told, "Oh, I'm working here specifically." Other people like my bosses and stuff, I told, "Oh yeah, I'm getting just to work." But like a few of my coworkers and one of them was my boss. Both of them stopped by the Godzilla store, and they were even there to visit me or anything. They just came by um out of the blue. Um, but I said hi. It was fun talking to them. They looked at some stuff, and it was fun to see them because it was so unexpected. Um, and then I also saw a few old friends there, some childhood friends who I knew and like growing up. And that was fun to see because just seeing people in the wild that it's like seeing your teacher in public or something, or like an old friend you haven't seen in a while. But yeah, there was that, and let me see here. Well, I said I was gonna pull up some Kaiju Chris stuff. Uh, so I'll do that right now. But yeah, let's see if I can pull up more stuff because there's quite a few things that I wanted to show off that I don't know if I have yet. Um, but while I do that, I will also just double check to see. Let's see. Mhm, mhm, mhm. Let me see here. Bum, 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 bum. And if anyone here has any more questions, feel free to ask. If there's anything you want to know about. And of course, I will keep certain things private just because, you know, um, I guess professional courtesy or just, any courtesy to privacy um, for the company and or my coworkers who are actually pretty good friends now. Um, because like anyone who worked there was obviously a fan of Godzilla, and so and even on the hiring thing, they specified, oh, we want people who are like fans of the movies, the franchise and stuff. Um, and like I said, whenever we went to the interview, they would ask us questions about like, oh, what does Godzilla mean to you, or how long have you been part of this franchise, or a fan of the franchise? So, seeing stuff like that there, it was just a good environment too, because the my bosses and my I guess you can say managers, team leads and stuff, they would be really cool with uh you know the environment there. Like no one was strict or anything. Um I will say the only one workaround was probably, and I've experienced this before in my own life because my father is works in construction and like English is his second language. So uh and he works construction. I've worked with him before. So there's a little bit of a somewhat language barrier just because English is only his second language. Most of the shop owners there are like Japanese, so they'll speak fluent Japanese. Um, and then English. Like none of them were ever. I wouldn't say call them bad or anything, but explaining certain things of what they wanted me to do took a few tries, but like I said, I was experienced with it, so I can get the gist of things pretty down easily. So here is, if I can even, if you can see that, hopefully I'll, let's see, can you even see it? Nope. But this is me. Can I wonder if I can move the image here. Well, basically we have a special apron. Um, Everyone in the store who works there gets an apron. But we got a special one that had like the Godzilla logo on it. I'll see if I can find an image with it, but Here is Kaiju Chris. That's the suit, so you'll probably know him. Uh, and then here's like the big hallway that it takes place in. You'll go down this hallway. Um, like you'll come from uh here, and there'll be shops on the side. And this is like you can see there's a few kids in Godzilla costumes. Um, there's like some of the Metro people you might be able to see there who are like helping him with like the tail and stuff. And you see the big line there. That was a huge line. It actually went farther back, out into like a back alley, I want to say, and then onto like the sidewalk on the street side and stuff. These are all from Kaiju Chris's Instagram, by the way. So go follow him if you want to see like more pictures and stuff, of course. Um, and here's a look at the inside. I hate that it's cropped. You probably can't see the damn thing. His head's gone, but you can see that's him. He came in the shop with the standees, and then here's a picture of me on my break. I'm sure because um, yeah, there's the whole spread there where we have the characters there. Um, and really fun. Getting to stand there with the crew, I guess. Here's an image of one of our display tables where we had our movie monster series. A lot of these were the Godzilla Store exclusives, and some other stuff in there too. Some of the newer figures. Actually, I did pick up a few things. I'll show some of them here. But I did grab a few things. Of course, on brand with me. If anyone who knows me knows that I'm a big fan of Godzilla '98, and they just put out this figure for Zilla 2004. Here he is. I got him. We had him in the shop. You can kind of see him in the top corner there, but yeah, pretty cool figure. I picked up this guy because why not? Um, Hopefully we'll get to see a proper '98 figure come out because I think with how well they did this, I think they'll do pretty good with a Godzilla '98 figure. I might do a stream dedicated. I know I want to do a round four with Zimzilla 99, um, for like a debate or discussion on Godzilla '98. Because recently there was a big debacle about the rights and stuff. Like apparently only Japan can call him Godzilla. Um, while any other American company, if they want to license like merchandise, they have to call him Zilla. Um, I'm personally still thinking about that because from what I've said, it's not a matter of that they can't. Um, it's just there's a few hurdles you'd have to go through um for Toho to allow you to do that because I basically just don't know the situation legal wise. Um, I would assume that Toho. I'm pretty sure Toho owns all the rights to that outside of the distribution rights to the movie. Because they hold the distribution rights in Japan, while Sony owns it in the rest of the world. But Sony doesn't own the character; they just own the rights to the movie. Um, but outside of that, I think if Toho can has the control of it, I'm pretty sure they can. It's just a matter of you know what's Sony gonna do. I don't think they can do anything about it. Yeah. So like, is it made up? I don't think so because there's definitely some hurdles. Um, Hopefully I'll get to talk to Zim with Zim about it because he's more knowledgeable of the legal sphere. He's talked about it before. Yeah, because so the way I believe it works is Zilla. We can talk about all this once. I'm sure Zim would like to. Um, the way I see it is that like on paper, um, Godzilla '98 and Zilla are the same character, but in writing they aren't. Um, because Zilla is the loophole that um Toho has so that they can separate it from the Godzilla '98 character. because I feel like if you want to call them, like, if you have to admit that Zilla is an original Toho character, then you also have to admit that they're different from Godzilla 98. Even if obviously Zilla is supposed to be the 98 character, but not really. Um, but outside of that, I'm pretty sure Toho just has final say about whether or not you can license that character or not. Um, because I mean, I'm pretty sure there are other companies outside of Japan. Like I know there's the Omega Beast series that's releasing a Godzilla 98 figure. Um, I know there's a whole debacle with Spiral Studios about the Zilla figure. Um, but we'll just have to wait and see when that comes out. But I don't think it's a matter if they can't. It's just a matter of, well, they don't want to have anything to do with Sony, in the sense that I think Sony gets some revenue from any merchandise of the Godzilla 98 character. If I recall and understand the legal agreement correctly, it's that it goes both ways. Or it would have gone both ways for Sony and Toho for revenue from merchandise of the film from when they still had the rights to everything. Now since I think Sony only like distributes the movie and sells it, they only Toho will only get revenue from that. But Sony might receive revenue from any other merchandise. But if that's the case for any Japanese company, um, I don't see why any American company can't have that same deal. But I digress. Anyways, here's the little blue Hamtaro that we had. This was came out a while ago, I think, last year or the year before, maybe. But if you know your Godzilla history, you'll know that some of the Millennium movies were advertised in collaboration with the Hamtaro movies. And they had these little characters with the Hamtaro and the Godzilla costumes. They made these Bandai vinyl figures here. They also had a red one. I got the blue one because blue is my favorite color. Um, it goes well with my keychain I have up here. I have a little green keychain of the Hamtaro. People wanted the other colors, but we only had a few extra keychains. Not like this one. They were like enamel keychains, and we had the two figures there, which were cute, pretty cool to have. So I picked those up, and then I actually picked up. We also had these on display. These cool file folder things with like artwork of Godzilla. They're all double sided as well. So there's Godzilla 2000 and GMK, and then here's another art piece that's Godzilla 2000, I think, or one of the Millennium Godzillas with the Apaches and the double sided, or kind of just more of the image. But you're cool. I'll probably keep a few stuff, maybe some like papers in there or something. I just got them because I thought they looked cool. Yeah, they are some of the coolest folders you can get. We had a few different designs up there. I don't know if I took any pictures of them. I'll see if I did though. Let's see. So you saw a good deal of all the stuff we had up there, and yeah, and so around the middle of the time, things started to mellow out because we usually had some pretty slow days. We would only get a few hundred people in on the weekdays, and um, basically, uh, you would get like the casual people who came in, who were just walking by, knew some stuff about Godzilla. Then you have the regular people who would come and go, because they knew about Godzilla, they knew about the event, and they wanted to shop there. Weekends were our busiest. At best, at a little over 1,000 people. Day one and two were like the most turnout, like a few thousand. No less than 2,000. I want to say maybe no more than. 1,500. I don't know. I don't remember the official numbers. But with that, it got pretty busy. I worked pretty long shifts, like open to close, and we would get our breaks and stuff, lunches. And working at the little Tokyo area, it was a pretty fun experience because you know, uh, there's a lot of shops there, like neighbors there. Some of them are like Jungle, where it's a little bit of a bigger corporation. Some of them are like mom and pop shops that are run by like a few people. And then you have your uh, stuff like the Hello Sanrio store. Um, some pretty popular food joints that are really good. Um, and like really good price too, because um, yeah, yeah, that's a lot of people. Um, and like I said, we only had like a maximum capacity of like 20 people at a time. We would go over it a few times, just because it got so hectic. But yeah, only 20 people at a time. Uh, I hated, I didn't hate it, but I wouldn't have volunteered for it. Uh, to keep the count, we had like a clicker. We would count how many people come in, and then whenever a certain amount of people came out, it would let a party of so and so, kind of like a Universal Disneyland ride type thing. Um, and so we would just have to click the button, let people in, and so yeah, that was that. My favorite thing to do was like walking on the floor or being on register, which was fun. But there's like yeah, yeah, 20 people in, pretty slow. Like I said, it got to like an hour wait of like for the store, because like I said, sometimes the line would wrap around like the hall and the store and go out onto the sidewalk street. Um, and unless you know the layout, it's kind of hard to imagine. But like, there's like a building, and there's like a hallway that goes down the middle and uh, across, and all that space in between is like a hallway, and on the sides are the shops. It goes out into like an alley that I think splits, but it goes like onto one side of the street or the other side of the street. The line wrapped around all of that. And like on our big days, most days it would just be like on the side of the store. Um and let 20 people in. However many come out, that's how many you can let in. Uh and stuff. They also didn't allow drinks in, which is like a standard for most of the stores there. But you would just leave your drink on a little tray that we have by the entrance and stuff. So, easy enough to manage. I had a hard time just because I got ADHD. It's hard for me to multitask on some stuff, especially when numbers are involved. Because I had to keep track of, okay, how many people are in the store, how many people are coming out, how many people can I let in. It was tough because also there's a big pillar like in my view, so I had a hard time counting the amount of people in the store because I had a blind spot to where like 5 people can like hide from me. Which is why we probably went over the maximum a few times. And essentially, you know, I didn't like doing it, but it is what it is. I just, did my job. Uh, and yeah, around the middle period is when I met some of those people, like Kaiju Chris, who came by a few times, Sam from Corridor Crew. Um, was there anyone else? A few of the Toho people, um, and stuff. Actually, a fun fact is actually one of my bosses, who I think is one of the part owners of the store. Um, he actually appeared in a episode of Storage Wars, where they had like some of the Sofubi figures. They were like an expert that they went to get appraised. So if you search up Godzilla um, storage wards, Godzilla figures. You'll see one of my bosses there as an expert to appraise some sofubi that they found in a locker, which is fun. You'll get to see some of the store there. It wasn't our store, the Godzilla store that I worked at, but it's one of the stores they own. One of them that's mostly anime adjacent. Um, and it was fun because getting to work with because one of my teachers as well was like one of my teachers in high school was on Judge Judy, so it reminded me of that. Uh, to where you have people who have been on TV. Um, my girlfriend's the same way. She was like on the news. Um, when like there's like a fire near her house, so um, there's that. So knowing people who have been on TV. Um, yeah, I've heard that too. That some of the stuff was staged, but Um, I still find it entertaining, even if some of it is staged. Cause like, I think the stage part of it is just that, oh, the production company put some stuff in there for them to find. Like, I don't think exactly it was like the people who bought the lockers knew what to find. It was just like, oh, they might have put some stuff in there to make the show interesting, which I get. Sometimes you have to blur the line a little bit between reality and stage stuff, but it's still entertaining. But yeah, cool that they were on TV. I mean, it's not like they staged my boss is working there or anything because he actually works there and he is, I think, part owner. And he's a fun guy actually. Really cool guy. All of the bosses there were very chill and like they're fans of the stuff too. So, um, they know what they're talking about. They even gave me like some sneak peek at ideas they have for next year. Um, So be on the lookout for that because I think they're gonna do more screenings um for stuff. And they were asking me like, what do people like? What movies do the fans like? Um, if anyone here wants to, uh, actually, yeah, here's a question for anyone here on the stream. What movies would you guys like to see screened for the next anniversary? Um, it's geared more towards people in LA, but like if there was an event near your place, what movies would you guys want to see screened at like a local theater or something? You know, uh Maybe even make it a double feature because what double feature would you want to see that you think the fans would really appreciate? Um, leave a comment down below or in the chat. Uh and because the people who work there really want the fans to have a good time. Because, like I said, my bosses were asking me, "Oh, do you think the people will like the gift freebies that we get?" I was like, "Yeah, like stuff like that is very collectible and very cool to just have because uh just because like the fans love that stuff. Like with the tap card, like I think it meets both things where like a tap card like this, like it's usable. Like I can use this whenever, you know. But it's also cool to have. Like trading card people are probably gonna like it because they'll probably put this in like a top loader or a card sleeve and just tuck it away. Or you'll have like casual fans who like, oh, I got this cool exclusive Godzilla card, and so stuff like that. Just they want to please the fans, which is something I really took away from that. You know. And yeah, I recommended some of the show era stuff. Uh, I think like something like Hedorah or the Mechagodzilla movies would probably do well. Either that or some of the earlier like Mothra versus Godzilla. One name that floated around was Final Wars. And or what was the other one? Or maybe it was Hedorah. Hedorah or Final Wars. Yeah, but yeah, they're planning stuff for next year. They'll probably do it again if you're visiting around. the LA area or anything like that, I'd recommend you check it out. Um, yeah, it was just a really fun time. Um, and then around the end of my time there, I want to say, uh, I was starting to get the hang of things, and I was getting really sad that I was gonna have to leave. Um, and like sometimes for stuff like that, like a company might keep you around. They might hire you all full time, but I don't think any of us got hired full time. But they did say that like if we wanted to, we can always come back. They might reach out. Um, some of the stuff I showed you, the freebies I got were actually some gifts I got from the company, um, which was really nice. There's actually another thing I got as a gift, which I think on the picture you can also see some of the Metro guys had Godzilla shirts that they did. It's basically a staff shirt we got with the little purple, I guess, sunrise with Godzilla 2000 on it, and it has the Godzilla Metro collaboration there, and then here's the staff thing, and all around the area there were these. I don't know if you saw in any of the pictures, but they had like stickers of like the footprints there. I don't know if it was bad for me to do it, but when we were dismantling stuff, because around the end we had to dismantle everything. That's what we did on our essay, and we were gonna throw them away anyways. And I got a big brain idea. It was tough because those stickers were stepped on. They were trampled on through hell and dirty. And I hate anything having to do with the floor and or the bottom of people's shoes. But man, I wanted that sticker, so well, I didn't rip them out, thankfully. Another guy did, but he helped me put one sticker face down, another face up, and I pancaked them or sandwiched them together, and then just rolled it up and I took it home with me. I'll probably clean it, and then maybe hang it up somewhere. But yeah, there's that. So we have that shirt, and then some of the posters in the bag, like you saw, the tap card too. So yeah, they're lovely people to work with. Got to meet some cool people. Um, and essentially it was you know, that was most of my time working for the Godzilla store. Um, I'll see if I'll post a few pictures up that I took, just to get a whole scope of all the stuff I saw. But you know, it's just all the stuff I got to see was really. Oh, one other thing that they had there was, let me see if I can actually pull up a video too. Hopefully I won't get copyright claimed for it, but um, let me see here. I'll upload it to OneDrive. Cause one thing they had there was really cool. It was cool at first, but um by so we had like a setup of TV flat screens that was like four flat screens, and they showed one image. And they would play all of the Toho movie trailers in order from 54 to -1. And at first, it was really cool because there was big, high quality trailers for all of the movies there. And one of the funniest things is whenever it got around to Shin Godzilla, the sound quality would just explode in like in volume. So it was like the loudest trailer you would see, um, or hear, I guess, which was funny. And then it would end on -1, which is really cool. I guess they had like the best music soundings of all the traders there. Um, but by the end of it, it got pretty uh, what's the word? I don't know. It just nagged on me because we didn't show anything else. It just showed the trailers. So I had to like just sit there and watch the traders whenever it was slow. I mean, it was fun, but like, I can only take so much Godzilla. Um, but yeah, let's see here. Add some files. Let me see. Let's see what I can find. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, they had a screen like this. And then I'll see if I can add video. Probably can't put the video on, but I'll show you a picture of it. Yeah, I think it was playing the. Oh, that's the Shin Godzilla one. But you can see, that's actually one of my coworkers there, and some other people. But you can see there's big, flat screens there, the four of them monitors. They would show all the Godzilla traders, and in front of it, you could see we had the visual books, which I actually didn't pick up any. I was tempted to, but I wanted to save some money, and I might have one here. This is the one that was actually a gift for my birthday, but it's the same thing. Oh, maybe not. But they had the visual books there for like about almost all the monsters, even some of the low key ones. Like they had Sanda and Gyra, the giant octopus. Um they had the like Komibas, Ganimas, Gazora. They were like a 3-in-1 book, so that was pretty cool. I was tempted to pick up those ones just because they were so niche, I guess, even for the Toho monsters. But yeah, stuff like that was fun to see. Actually, funny thing is, on the side there near the corner, you can see uh, I want to say it was our most expensive item. It was an X Plus Godzilla 1962. And it wasn't until like the last few days where someone actually came in and bought it. It was like 1,000, um, I want to say like 1,160 something. Uh, but yeah, people were looking at it, but no one was buying it. I want to say we only sold two because I know one guy who bought it was actually a good friend of the boss there and was a regular. He came in and he bought stuff there, and he bought a lot of stuff, and I think he was one of the only ones who bought it. Maybe there was one other, just because I have a memory of getting two of them out from stock. But yeah, and then let me see here. I also want to find and show our. I'm pretty sure I took pictures of some of our exclusive stuff because we had some exclusive stuff there that was also limited quantity. Here we go. I'll just upload that. And essentially, we had some exclusives, of course, and these ones were specifically for either Jungle or I think it was specifically for the event, for the Jungle Godzilla collaboration. And so here are the four. We had a Marusan Hedora, with the Yagura Tower, which the Yagura Tower is one of the towers they have in the Little Tokyo Plaza. If you go like to one side of the plaza, there's a tower there, the Yagura Tower, which we had that came with it. These ones were limited to like only 50 of these were made. By especially by a painter who was like well regarded in the painting community, and so yeah, we had like only 50 of those. We sold a good few of them. I think we only had like a little under 30 left by the time I left. Maybe even less, just because it was so popular. We had the Jungle Store exclusive Silver Godzilla -1. That one was really popular. People loved grabbing that. I think only like 1,000 of those were made. And then we had, I think I was told it was a theater exclusive Bandai Godzilla minus color. That like it was way bigger than any. It's the same vinyl material but bigger and minus the color. That one was pretty popular too. I think we ran out a good few of those, and we actually sold. No, wait, yeah, I think we did sell out of the two of those guys there because I think we only had two left, which was the silver one and the Hedora. Mm. Yeah, and then we sold out of the X Plus in the back, which was the -1 with the glowing spines, and essentially, uh, we sold out of that one pretty quick. It was one people liked a lot. All the gold or silver versions, personally, yeah. For me, it depends. The silver one here, not for me, I'd say. Um, but it was very popular. I don't know if you saw it in the other pictures, but we had a few different colors for the movie Monster series. I think you can see. I think the most we had was like Hedoras. We had like the pink strawberry Hedora, the gold one. We had a bright pink one that I think we only had one of. We had a few different colors of the. We had the retro color Jet Jaguar and Megalon and Gigan. I think you can see some of them there. They're like the brightest ones. We had the two special color versions of the Godzilla 55 and Anger's 55 with like the red and the blue vinyl, the white vinyl. We had like all of the Kiris there, Super Mecha. We had the new Godzilla 64, which is newer. We had Zilla, who was new. We had the Rose form and Beast form by Alante. We had Bagan. Funny thing is, a kid was asking if we had the red one. And he was like, "Don't you know there's a red one?" And I was like, "I think my coworker had got scolded by him." He said, "We had the new color Space Godzilla, and I think we had like a, I think you see him there, the yellow and blue Hedora." Mm, yeah, I think I heard about that. Daniel Evans, that Transformers came out with the repaint of Grimlock for Godzilla, um, which I guess is cool, but um like, I wish they had, like, a transforming Godzilla because I think they also did that Rathalos from Monster Hunter, which is like an actual Rathalos sculpt that transforms into a figure, which I wish Godzilla, had. I think, on one of Zim streams, we talked about it, and yeah, we had Minya, if you can see him. Yeah, I think it's a cool repaint. I just wish, like, we had a Godzilla figure that transformed. Same as the Rathalos, because that's a cool figure. But yeah, the repaint's cool for what it is. But yeah, we had Minya there. He was, he was kind of a popular one, a bit more. Like everyone like sort of likes to dunk on him, I guess, which is what I saw a lot of. Uh, but yeah, there were some that were not as popular. I want to say we sold at least one of each figure you see up there. Um, So yeah, there's a good and there's a lot that we sold out of. Both the Hamtaros you see there, we sold out of those. We sold out of the Shadow Kiryu, um, which was a pretty popular one, the big black Kiryu there. What else did we sell? I think we sold out of the Fighting Jet Jaguar because we had both the Flying Jet Jaguar, the I think Fighting Pose where he's like this, and then we had a retro color of that version. Um, and I think we sold out of like one or two of those by the end of it. We had different versions of the -1 Godzilla. You can see that we have the Atomic Breath. Yeah, Jet Jaguar sold out. We also had the Singular Point one. I don't think he sold out. But yeah, I think like one or two of the versions of Jet Jaguar sold out by the end of it, and a lot of the recolors too. Um, yeah, Jet Jaguar was a popular character. I think that was one of the only things we had for him, outside of the wallpaper display, which had the Megalon crew there. And what else? Did anything else sell out? We sold out of the 92 Mothra. I don't know if you can see her there, but we had a Mothra from Godzilla versus Mothra, the Heisei one. We had her and Batra. Mothra sold out pretty quickly. We still had Batra, winged form or the Imago, and yeah, people just like Jet Jaguar. Yeah, thank you, Daniel. But let's see here. I don't know if people dislike Jet Jaguar. He's pretty niche. But I think he's a fan favorite. People obviously, you know, uh, like him for the novelty, I guess. And I think we sold out maybe of a few Hedoras. Um, I think like the one we had, and then I think a few other colors. But we also had the crawling version and the flying version. But we didn't have the regular standing version. We only had like the color variants for that. Um, so yeah, we had that. Let's see. And then let's see. Yeah. So, like I said, these were some of the movie monster series stuff we had. Uh, Here's me again with the standees. I wish we could have taken some of these home. Me and my coworkers were all talking about like, oh, what would you take home? Like I said, I took home one of the sticker footprints, dirty as hell, but you know, um, cool to have nonetheless. But yeah, I actually helped take down some of these standees, put them away because I think they're gonna keep them, and then they might keep some of the other stuff because like it's either you throw them out or you send them back to the company or you just keep them for future events like that. And basically it just came down to what um what we were throwing away we could have kept theoretically. And let's see here. What else can I show you guys? Because there was like a good lot that was happening, but like I said, most of the big stuff happened day one. Like the screening and the Metro event, because I think there was like a cosplay gathering. Um, and Kaiju Chris actually took pictures out in front of the theater where they were showing the movie or movies, and essentially it was just uh, you know stuff for the people to come together who like did costumes. Like I said, you would see kids with their costumes and like adults as well. Um, there's a good few amount of the cosplayers there, and it was fun to see. We were open most days, um, and we were only closed on Tuesdays. So there's a good amount of time to come there. There was a lot of people who came like around the last few days because they just didn't know that was happening. Um, and by chance they just um happened to stop by. And it was just fun to see all those people. I still want to see if I can try to add video clips. I just don't know. Hmm. Hmm. Let's see. Yeah, maybe some more stuff to show you guys. I'll show you guys more of the outside because um the outside was really cool too. Like I said, they had decals, the posters, and some of the banner stuff that they stapled to the wall. I showed you guys that big spread of the characters there. So like they had this on one side that was further to the right, and then when you walk into the shop, they had this the cool Biolante right here. So we have Biolante, Rodan up there, Gigan, and then we have stuff like the shop, the Godzilla banners, um, some of the posters and stuff for flyers for the event. Which a lot of the restaurants were also giving out flyers for the event. So if you ever ate around there, you would probably know about it. Let's see. Yeah, here's the other side. You can see the other banner I showed you, and then we had GMK Godzilla, and then we had Kaiser Ghidorah there, and then some other pictures with the banners and the characters, the flying Hedorah over there and such. So plenty to go around. And if you it was something where like if you came by, it was like in your face about it. Um Sometimes you would get people who are like, what is this? Is this where you sell the Gundams? And I'm like, No, this is where we sell Godzilla. Gundams is that away." Which was cool. Unfortunately, one thing I didn't mind it because I like helping people, but there's like no public restrooms in this area. If you know the area, then you'll probably know that. But if you're ever planning on visiting, just be aware. The only way for you to find a restroom is if you eat at a restaurant, they'll let you use it. Or there's like one Starbucks on the corner where they have open access restrooms. Um, so I would either have to tell them that or go to Starbucks. But like, yeah. Outside of that, like most people like who came by, like knew about it. Uh, And it's also a great place in general just to get Godzilla stuff or any niche stuff, cause like they have like a bunch of novelty items there, cause it's like a hobby shop. So like there's one store that has, like I said, the Gundam model kits, Gunpla, and then there's also Godzilla stuff there. Most of the stuff there is like secondhand stuff. Uh, cause they also do like a buyback thing where they'll buy your collection for cash. So they'll have secondhand items that people come in. They get lots of stuff from that too. Like a lot of the X pluses they have there are things people came in and sold to them. And then they'll have like other items that aren't like officially through the Godzilla store, and or like they just got some stock of some stuff. Um, so it has a little bit more of everything. Whereas this store right here was like all the stuff you can get at like the Godzilla store or through it. Um, And so if you're ever in the area, I highly recommend you check this place out because it's a really cool place. The people there are, great people. Uh, I was really sad to go because I would have loved to work there regularly. Yeah, it's really done up on the outside. I didn't have to. I had to take some of the stuff down, but I don't think I took out anything on the outside. It was the inside stuff. Um, like that was gonna be someone else's job, like outside of us that were there. And yeah, there's like lots of cool images in there too. Like I would have loved to take some of the decals home. I had a plan where I was gonna like bring some cardboard, and if we were to take them down, I would just put the decal on the cardboard and keep that. But all I got away with was like one of the stickers they had on the ground. I'll take what I can get. But let's see. Yeah. And then again, if you have any other questions, feel free to let me know. Um, Because I'd say that would about wrap up my experience there. Um, went over the people I saw, people I met, people I worked with. Um, some of the cool people that came by. Um, the cool events that took place. Uh, you know. Um, and I got to share some stuff too because I've been around places and conventions. Some of the people that the owners knew, I knew as well, and have either like hung out with or talked to. Um, like Shinji Wakaza, who did a lot of the effects work and I think some concept art or sculpted the suits for the Millennium movies. Like I think he's a pretty good friend of theirs, and his name came up. I was like, oh yeah, yeah, I know him. Like I've hung out with him a little, technically hung out. Um, because he's like a friend of a friend. Um, so there's like 1 degree of separation between us. Um, and like I've hung out with a friend, and Shinji Kwaza was there. So that's how I explained it to him. Uh, because again, like I guess I'm a little more involved with people who work in the community, um, or who work like on the Godzilla stuff, whether it be like stuff from the American side or people who like worked on the movies, Toho movies. Um, like I get around and I meet people and I network. Um, and I'm also like good friends with some of the people who drop by who are like cosplayers, um, journalists, or do toy photography, stuff like that. I know these people. I've met these people, talked to them. I talk to them through DMs, stuff like that. Um, so yeah, so like I'm in the know of a few things. I was probably outside of a few people, one of the only ones who knew more about stuff like that in that world. Um, actually, like me being an artist, I work freelance, do commissions, stuff like that for artwork, character design, stuff like that. And there are some other people there who are artists as well, and who were into the same niches as me. So that's what really gave us a camaraderie, and we worked really well together. And like we're still in touch, even after the fact. Um, but yeah, it was just a really fun time, and looking at all the pictures here, I'll show up a few more. That's my layout. Yeah, yeah, you know, like it was just a fun time seeing people, and like they're like just Kaiser Chris's suit. Like I wish his head wasn't cropped off the damn thing, but like he had fun. Everyone who came by had fun. Uh, yeah, thanks, Tig, for stopping by. And then looks like Zim's in the chat. Pretty sure I put it on the because I know Zim. If you're here, you have a stream coming up. I might stroll by there once I'm done here. But if you want to hop on real quick before you do, feel free to. I think I left it in the Discord on the main chat stream. Hopefully, I'll know how to bring you on. But I think I know how to bring you on, anyways. But if you have any questions too, feel free to. Anyone who's also here. Um, but yeah, and then yeah, I'll just go through more pictures, see if I can do some like tidbits on stuff like here. Because there's like a lot of stuff there, and the people I met were just like a blast to talk to. Because like everyone who came had something or other to do with Godzilla. So when you have that camaraderie, you have that camaraderie going on. It's fun. Like it's like that saying, it's not a job if you love what you do. And for me, it was almost like that for the most part. Because it was still a job. Um, the only time I ever felt like that, mostly, where it was like, oh, this is just a job, was honestly when we were slow. Um, honestly, when it was slow, we would mostly just not goof off, but we would be chill, just talk to each other. And whenever there's like two people in the store, we would check in on them, help them out. Um, but like I said, we were artists, so we would draw some stuff on the side, mostly Godzilla stuff, Gundam, you know. But with that, um, it was just a matter of just talking to people, helping them out, and like I said, it was just really fun to talk to people like that. Because I have friends. Most of my friends online are like across the world. Like a friend who I have in New Mexico, somewhere in the eastern side of America. I have friends who are like out of the country and are working in like really remote rural areas who are helping out people, doing teaching jobs, stuff like that. So when you have opportunities in a fandom to come together like that, it's just a very what's the word for it? Like harrowing experience, um, enlightening experience, stuff like that. And like like there's people there who are coming in to see, like, look at all these people. Like they all came there to celebrate Godzilla um for his 70th anniversary, and that's just really like great to think about and to know that you have this community of people that you can go to. Um like if you just do the work to find people, you'll find them. There's gonna be a community, or you can be a trailblazer and start one of your own. Like get more people into it. And so yeah, again, I'll probably I know Zim said he was at work. Um Unless anyone else wants to maybe pop in that I know. Uh or if anyone has any more questions, feel free to leave them down because Um, that would about wrap up my time at the store. I went through a little bit of everything that I did, people I met, stuff like that. Um, Maybe I'll talk about some other stuff. One thing I'll talk about before I stop anything is like, um, I got into something now because before I was never into building model kits. But since they do Gunpla and stuff and other that, it's not just Gundam, it's other stuff I'll show you right now. But someone brought a figure to the store and I noticed it and it was like a little figure and they would put it next to these standees. I mean, I showed these before, but like we have standees like this. They put their little figure on the ground and they angled it in a way that the figure would stand with the. And I asked him, "Oh, what's that?" And then he said, "Oh, it's a desktop army figure." I'm like, "What's that?" And it's like a line of figures, and I loved it so much. My boss thankfully knew what he was talking about, and we actually had them in the other store. So I picked up one for myself, and I got this. So they'll go right here, and then I'll probably go to my normal layout. But yep, there's a desktop army figure. Uh, and they're cool. This is like my first delve into the world of desktop army or like buildable figures. Like the only thing for this, I didn't have to build the girl herself, other than funny enough, like her breasts and stuff, as well as like the cat ears and the pigtails. I like the figure a lot. The joints are a little loose, um, on that, but I also had to build like the claw thing, which I really love, and you can move the little joints there. And like it's just a fun little figure. You can take it off the stand and play with it, I guess, if you want. Um I love little figures like this and I think the scale you get with it is fun. Is that a ball joint? I don't know if it's a ball joint. I don't know, because some of the joints are a little weird, but it is what it is. Um I like it. And then another thing I got is a little aqua shooter figure, which is different from the other one. I kinda like this one a little more. Um it was a pain to build because basically, you build the whole figure and as well as like all the little accessories and stuff. It only comes with like extra hands, the gun. But I had to build it from the ground up, which is like my first time ever doing that for like a whole figure. Um, which is these are like gashapon figures. There's like other, I think there's other collaboration brands with it. Same as the other one, where they'll collaborate with like an anime or something or a game and make a little figure like this. But yeah, it's cool. I like little minifigures like this. I would say I like the feel of her more. I like her feet more because here they're just little nubs. If you can see that. Yeah, but they both have their strengths and weaknesses, I think. But overall, I'd say they're really cool, and I'm definitely gonna start collecting more. I'll probably collect. Maybe I'll do a Gundam because one of my bosses was also told me that he does Gunpla stuff like that, and that he himself is a streamer in that. Um, I'll probably ask him some other time for a link to his stuff, but uh, yeah, he's a big help. Helped me out a lot. Getting the tools I need and stuff. So if you guys are interested in any of that, let me know, and I'll probably do like building streams um for that because it's something I want to get into, and it just seems like a lot of fun. So uh, you'll probably see more of that from the channel. Let's see here. Yeah. Alright. All right. Let's see. Thanks, Em. Hope you're doing good at work. Um, I'll probably end soon, but I'll probably stop by your stream because it's definitely a topic uh I'm gonna want to talk about. But mhm, mhm. Yeah, yeah, I'll stop by your stream. Hopefully, uh, hopefully we'll talk about getting around to that Godzilla Zilla stream because I really want to do that. But yeah, and again, if anyone else here has questions about the Godzilla store, or my experience with it, I did work there for the whole time. Uh, and if you have any questions, because um, it was a very fun experience there. Um, I went through a little bit of the whole story of my time working there. Um, so when it comes to that, if you have any questions, drop them below. Um, I'll probably double check my Twitter and my and other stuff. But yeah, if you have any questions, drop them. Let's see here. Mhm. I guess one other thing I did ask on Twitter was, do you think Godzilla eating people and or kaiju and other animals is something that can add to his character, or is it something you think Toho should not allow? Because right now Toho doesn't allow Godzilla to eat anything. I think that includes. I think it will include other monsters, people, and or animals. The only time we've ever seen Godzilla physically eat anything is '98 because he ate the fish, obviously. Um, I'll I'll say he didn't eat any people. The only time that comes close is when he bites the helicopter from below. Although even then, we don't see him eating that guy, and it could best be assumed that he spat whatever was in his mouth afterwards, because it's not like he eats the choppers, or anything else there. Um, but um, but yeah, it was just you know, do you think Godzilla should eat people and or other things? Because in the original script of the '54 movie, and even in the novels, he there's the deleted scene of him eating the cow or with the cow in his mouth. There is a scene where he's holding a girl, I believe. You can watch Zimzilla 99 stream or video about the novels, and I think he mentioned there's even a poster with Godzilla holding a girl. Um, and like I don't know if he ever tried to eat her, but I think there's a scene in the novel where he does that, and then there's the poster art for it. Um, and then yeah, those are the only times where like Godzilla's ever come close to eating people. And of course, it's implied in the original that Godzilla would eat the island girls, or that was part of the folklore of that island. Um, yeah, but some people are saying that it doesn't really add anything. Do I think it would add anything? I don't know, because I get that Godzilla isn't like a monster that eats people, um, and stuff. Um, because we've seen other kaiju eat people before. So I don't think it would be out of the realm of possibility. I guess it's just a matter of like his vendetta against humanity when it comes to most of his incarnations is never about eating someone, but just, killing them or causing the destruction that kills them. Uh but yeah, like the only time cuz if you want to call it eating something, like recently in Godzilla Kong, the New Empire, there's obviously that scene where he consumes the nuclear energy through his mouth. And if you want to count that as eating something, then yeah, you can say he's eaten stuff before, but it's directly related to nuclear energy because if you think back to 84, where he doesn't eat it, but he holds the core, or the um call it, the power, the nuclear power station thing. He holds the core and he absorbs it through his dorsal plates, I guess, that light up. And other than that, there's the other times whenever radiation just falls on him and he absorbs it, or he eats it directly, like in GXK. Um, the radiation is one of the only things we ever see Godzilla consume outside of fish from the '98 and the Godzilla the series. So yeah, there's that. I think it would eating animals. I think is normal. Eating people, I think if you're going for like a super horrific aspect to it, I think it could work. I don't think it's like sacred that it can't eat people. I think it's just a thing Toho wants to steer away from the character. Um, Other than that, I just think, eating kaiju I think should be allowed. Even like Michael Doherty, excuse me, he implied that Monster vs. Godzilla eats kaiju as a source of radioactive meat and stuff. Although I think Kong and like the other kaiju are the only ones we ever see eat people and or other kaiju because I think at this point like Kong's eaten nearly every monster he's defeated. Like I'm pretty sure if Mechagodzilla had some meat on him, he'd eat that. And so yeah. Let's see here. If anyone new in the comments has any questions again, just let me know. Um this was sort of a bit of an ask me anything stream, so again, you can ask me anything you might have questions on regarding either the Godzilla Store, Little Tokyo, Anime Jungle, um, anything that, isn't like a private thing. Of course, like company secrets, I guess. There isn't really any, just like procedures and stuff, but Yeah, ask me anything if you have any questions about like how my time went, anything specific about the Godzilla store. Um, sound off in the comments because uh, I did go through just about everything I experienced there. Outside of maybe a few things. But yeah, that's gonna do it for the most part. But I'll scope through all the other avenues I got here. Doesn't look like anyone had anything to ask as of yet, but yeah. Again, like I said, fun experience. Let's see. I'll show you guys some stuff. Like here's me next to the big banner we had. That was fun to do. All the stuff here. And all the stuff you see there is was specially priced for the event as well. Because Jungle actually already collaborates with the Godzilla store. They have like a little Godzilla store corner in their shop, which is where all their official like Godzilla store merchandise comes through. Um, so everything that we had left, which wasn't much, um, which is why most of us actually left pretty early than what we were scheduled for, because they just didn't have anything more for us to do, outside for a few of us that were covering for people who called out for the regular shop. But a lot of them are specially priced, but it was only for the event. So all the stock we had left for that event went back to the Godzilla store. So it'll be there now, but it'll be regularly priced. Which unfortunately, like some of the stuff is a bit pricey. I think it's mostly for the import costs and just for having the license to sell that stuff, probably, from what I've been told. But yeah, we had like a good variety. Like I said, we had X Plus, SH Monster Arts, Haya, Super 7. Actually, we have up there in the corner, I don't know if you can see it, we had the Super 7 Shogun Mecha Godzilla. I remember everyone was excited for that until we found out the price for it. Like 300 something. Like right there it was like 300 something. Maybe a few dollars less. Since I'm pretty sure almost everything was on sale. So we had the big Shogun figure. I think maybe we only sold one. We sold a few of the $1,000 Godzilla 62 X Plus statues there. We sold a good amount of the Haya figures because we had the Haya Muto, we had the Rodan, Mothra, we had the Godzilla versus Kong standard form, and then we had the Heat Ray version from I think Godzilla versus Kong. We had what else do we have? We had a few of the Godzilla X Kong's SH figure arts or monster arts. We had Mecha Godzilla there. We had Gigan. We had funny story. Um Anyone that knows me knows that my favorite Godzilla is Godzilla 98. Um and then other than the Zilla we had there for 2004 Zilla, we had one Godzilla 98 Defo reel. I don't know if I took a picture of it here. I think we the reason it's not there is because there was one fan who was there who was a fan of 98 and he bought the only 98 figure we had that I wanted to buy by the end of it, but we only had the one, so at least good on him that he got it. Cause I talked to him a little bit, like, cause we both like the same Godzilla. And actually day one, there was quite a few what do you call it? Like 98 representation. Cause there was a couple there who had the Godzilla 98 shirt. I think it was a promo shirt for Taco Bell. One that I have as well. But they had that there and I'm like, yeah, awesome. 98 represent. Um Funny enough, there wasn't any. No, I don't think there was any Polygon trilogy Godzilla stuff there. Um I'm trying to think of anything we had for it. We had Singular Point. We didn't have we only had one X Plus. I don't know if we had it out at this point because maybe it's like up there, but we had a Singular Point X Plus. I'm not sure if anyone bought it. Actually, I'm not sure if anyone bought any of the Singular Point. Um, we had all the Godzilla forms. We had Salunga and we had the Jet Jaguar for Singular Point. I can't recall if we sold any of those. Sold most of everything else though. And then we also had but yeah, no anime trilogy. Uh, but I call it a win because we had 198 figure in the official Godzilla store. Um, and maybe a half a win for the Zilla we had. You know, so we had that. Over some other stuff. We had some MonsterVerse stuff. I think we only had one movie monster series Kong. We have all the I don't think we had any of the highest stuff yet, but we had the SH Monster Arts. We had like one of the file folders I showed earlier, which were these that we sold. We sold like these file posters things, which are pretty cool. Have Godzilla there. I think they came two in a pack, and they were both double sided with art. We had one MonsterVerse one, which was neat. And of course, actually, yeah, we do have the highest stuff. Oh, not for Godzilla Kong, but for Kingdom Monsters and Godzilla versus Kong. And you can also see we had some stuff there, like the little stuff, like the blind bags. I've done a few openings on my channel. You can check out my shorts on my YouTube. Of me opening some of those packs, like the soft V puppets, the little finger puppets that are really good quality. I got a few of them here off to my side. So here are these puppets. Maybe I'll show off my collection for the most part, but here are some of these puppets. Yeah, they're really well detailed. And we also have the Godzilla mini collection going on, which are like these cool mini figures. Like here's the Godzilla one I got. It's really cool. I also have the translucent green one. That was like a different variant you can get. If you know the code, you'll know that like for the buildings, they have like a black building, blue building, or yellow building. And if you get the same style building but different color, you should get like the figure that's in there, and then the translucent one. So be on the lookout for that because they're really cool. They also have Ultraman Rising for that collection. So be on the lookout for that. That was a surprise to me. What else? Oh yeah, they have a gashapon shop, which I get like lots of gashapon from there. I picked up one of the new Sitting Godzilla ones they got there. First try. It was really cool while I was on my break. Um, so they had those there. So yeah, we had that. Oh, they had that. Another thing I love to collect that the gachapon shop has are these little Keshi figures. So like here's the Ultraman there. I don't know if you can see that. Here's the Ultraman Keshi, little rubber figure. These are really cool to collect. I'm collecting a bunch right now. They have some Godzilla ones too. I think they did like the whole Shin verse thing with like Godzilla, Shin Ultraman, Shin Evangelion. Actually, I also got the little Hideaki Anno version from the Daikon film because he made a short film about Ultraman where he was Ultraman and he has like the hoodie and stuff and he turns into Ultraman. So that's really cool. I love stuff like that where they just have the Hideaki Anno figure. And of course, he directed Shin Godzilla Evangelion, and I think he just has a producer role on the Shin Ultraman one. I think his friend I forget his name, but he helped do the Ultraman, and they're just really cool. I love little figures like that. Whew. Again, if anyone has questions, feel free to leave them below. Because I don't know if it's a broken record by now, but if you have any questions regarding the Godzilla store, or about the Godzilla Little Tokyo event, leave a question down below. I could probably answer it since I did work there for the whole period. And if you have any questions about it, feel free to let me know. It is 5:11, and I believe. Let me see. What time is Zim doing his stream? I believe it was like probably around 7. So I should have some time before then. Yep, 7:30. Yeah, he and I are good friends. He was here a little bit ago. Uh, should still be at work by now, but if he might join. Some other people might join if there's enough time. But let's see here. Well, how's this music work? I might have to do a quick break. Because I gotta go use it. Mm, mm, see if I show it. Boom. And then let's see if you can still hear me. Where's the music? Is it playing anything? Oh well. I will be right back, guys. So guys. Looks like we're back. Let's see. Did switch positions a little bit just to make it easier on me for drawing here, but let me see if I can enlarge this. There you go. Hopefully I'll be able to see if anyone comes on, but I think for now we'll turn this into a bit of a draw cast. That way we can kill some time. And for the occasion, I'll do a Godzilla piece. Ooh. All right, so let's see. When it comes to drawing Godzilla, I usually like to get some reference, and since we talked about him early on stream, I'll draw Kaiju Chris's Godzilla. I think it's actually a really cool suit design, and it'll be fun to draw him out here. When it comes to Godzilla, I always start with the brows and the top of his head because they seem easy to just draw there. There are a few features that are like a mainstay with all Godzillas, like the brows, the eyes, the nose. So mostly just start out with what you know. Kaiju Chris's Godzilla suit, it's like a gnarly version of like the Heisei design, like some of the classic ones. It's kind of a big, broad mouth there, with some gnarly, sharp teeth. First got the idea when he first stopped by, that I wanted to try and draw his Godzilla, but and like I said on my previous drawcasts, I sort of have some shapes that I have down to a T in memory when it comes to drawing Godzilla, because basically you can boil down anything to like a few shapes, and you get a sense of like where things go. Like, whenever you draw something, you always want to pull from reference. That's why I have some Godzilla Day pictures pulled up. So that way I don't sue me Toho. Not to spill tea or anything, but I got a DMCA from Toho for one of my designs of my original kaiju designs on a TeePublic shop, and it was just like a silhouette of like my kaiju for like a design, and I think it's pretty whack because like it wasn't even anything remotely like it's my original monster, and I think the reason they even knew about it was because on the tags, whenever you post a design on that shop, you can tag stuff on it, and the main tag was kaiju, of course, and one of the like subsequent tags you can put on it, like it suggested, oh, Godzilla. I was like, sure, yeah, kaiju Godzilla. I'll probably get a few clicks off of that. So I put the tag in. I put the design up. It was up, and then I think the next day, like I got an email saying, "Oh, you got DMCA'd by Toho Limited Company." And I was like, "What? And why?" And I'm like, "It's because of the tag." And I was like, "Well, what the heck? This design is mine. I need to back up." And then like on the emails, they said, "Oh, like, you know, feel free to submit a counterclaim or something, you know, like I guess YouTube has like a similar system or something." But they emailed me back saying, "Oh, you know, even though, you know, we said you can file a claim, we can't really do anything." And I was like, "Oh, well, I guess that's that." I'll probably just re-upload it again without the tags. But like, why are you gonna offer to put a tag up in the first place if Toho has the power to like claim a tag? Like why is that an option if you're gonna take it away? Like, what's the point? Because like if they have the power to do that, then like we all gotta be careful. Because like if just putting a tag is like enough for them to get on your case about it, like I don't know, we better watch out. always remember the flip. Yeah, forgot about that. Over the other person that come in there one time. Yeah, you rejected him, also it's good. Let's see. It needs to be spikier. Anybody with the chat? Feel free to suggest any kaiju you might want to see me draw. And then also feel free to ask any questions you might have regarding the Godzilla store and the Godzilla Day event, because I did work that. And if you have any questions about my experience there or regarding the store, feel free to drop a question below. And right now I am trying the Kaiju Chris Godzilla suit design, since he was there for the event. And I had a chance to meet him, so leave down below if you have anything you want to ask, or if you have a suggestion for me to draw. guys. We are about just a little past the 3 hour mark, so I might call it there for that. Ended off with the little jawcast. We got Kaiju Chris's Godzilla suit, as well as a little Hamtaro. At least the best I can do with the Hamtaro Godzilla. Not as cute as the real thing, but hey, screw me. I want to thank everyone for joining me here. Thank Zim for stopping by. Thank Tig and Daniel, I believe, for stopping by. Thanks for everyone who stuck around. I'd call it a successful night. Got to tell my story and my experience of the Godzilla Store and answer a few questions. Hopefully you'll be seeing more of me. It had been a while since my last stream, mostly because I was just working the event and stuff. You can catch me later tonight, most likely, on the Zimcast, Zimzilla 99. We're doing a topic surrounding a recent uproar of Takashi Yamazaki's Godzilla Minus One, talking about making a fun, entertaining movie versus an artistic film, and I guess all the discourse that happened around it. So you'll catch me there. Hopefully we'll have some stuff to say. Big thank you for everyone who joined, stuck around. I mean, if you have anyone who has any questions after the fact, I still have my Twitter posts up. You can find me at Vic Monstrous, Godzilla, G98 Appreciator, and Crispy Vic on Twitter. I do have commissions open. So if you like some of the stuff you're seeing right now, maybe not the little Hamtaro, but if you like the little Godzilla, Kaiju Chris Godzilla that I drew there, I do have commissions available, and I do. I am on Ko-fi, Artistry, and VGen, so I take commissions there. I'm currently having a sale on my Ko-fi right now, but I might put a post on VGen. Doing commissions, $10 illustrations. It also includes like a free, includes like an icon profile image if you want like a headshot or something like that drawn up. It includes it there. So a full body illustration plus a profile icon that you can get through my commission sale. After that, December 25th is when that sale ends, and after that, standard prices for my commissions will increase. So grab it while you can for the holidays. If you like my stuff, thank you so much for staying here, watching. Expect more, since I'll have some more free time. I'll be doing some streams, both here and hopefully on my other friends' channels. And then, yeah, thank you again for all the people who came by. I will be closing today's stream now. You can catch me later again. And, have a good night, guys. Have a good day, morning, or night. And until then, Kaiji Seekers,